We're going to go over to the New York Folklore now, and oh my gosh, if you love folklore, if you love art, if you love fabric, if you love trains, I don't care, give me the topic, you're going to find it there, right, Ellen?
Yes.
Yeah. Ellen McHale is the director there, and with it she's brought Beth Taylor, who is a fabric, not designer,
A fabric artist and a
artist.
quilter.
Okay, there you go. And you do wreaths.
Actually, I make wall hangings and other things. We happen to be having a workshop.
Yeah, yeah.
A wreath workshop, but we also have I also have a show there right now
I know you do.
of mostly wall hangings.
So tell me, now I know that she brought some, I saw the pictures on the wall. Mm-hmm. Are those in fabric? Are you, really?
Yeah. I when I'm making something, I think of the fabric as almost as paint, and I use color and I put fabric together in a lot. I appreciate landscapes a lot and other things as well.
I had no idea that you could do, as a pharmacist, I know friends that got all kinds of tablets and made pictures with all the different colored tablets. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was unique, but this is more unique, is doing it in fabric. Yeah. What got you started, Beth?
I actually, one thing I do with wall hangings, I put words on wall hangings and print on fabric so that I can send a message sometimes. And I got started because I really appreciate words and being able to see a kind thought when you're walking around, or sometimes lyrics, and I got started that way.
That was your start.
Yeah, finding a base for words is how I got started.
And then where do you get your fabric? Do you just get old fabric, or do you get new fabric, or do you just strip it up? I'm so interested in what you do.
I use fabric from lots and lots of sources. I do think it's wonderful to use what you have, and much as the G's Ben quilters quilted from all their leftover clothing
Right.
and anything. I definitely use what I have, but there are many sources, a great time for fabric. Many designers, even book illustrators, children's book illustrators are now making fabric. Knitters are making fabric. So it's a really great time to find gorgeous fabric.
Yeah. Ellen, how did you find her?
I'm not sure. Lori Longfield, our gallery manager, I think, had conversations with Beth. And Beth is local to Schenectady, so I think the location maybe.
Wandering on J Street. There's so many things going on J Street.
I know, isn't it amazing?
And I just found them
great
there.
restaurants and everything down there.
Wandered. So that's how I went in, because it's a very interesting place. They have artists, kind of a wide range of artists, from wood, painting, metalwork. They had recently an iconographic, wonderful artist, and I just walked in because I was attracted to what I saw in the window off the street. So.
Yeah, and I've been to a number of their exhibits, and I remember the train, the photographer that did all the trains and all the, well, not just trains, but all the pictures that he did. And of course, I've seen the others where you've done sculptures and the others. So you found her, basically, she dropped in.
She found us,
Yeah. But I know that you also do, New York Folklore does things not just in our area, that you do it in other areas as well, because you're New York.
We are in
Folklore.
New York, so it's difficult to cover the state, but I have an incredible staff, and we have folks who are working in different regions of the state right now to identify artists, to identify cultural traditions that are happening in different places. So at this point right now we have somebody who's working predominantly in the Hudson area. Anne Rappaport, who is in our office, works more in the Capital District and in the Mohawk Valley, and we just are working with a young woman in Binghamton. So we have some a field worker in Binghamton.
And do you have exhibits there? Is that, or do you just, tell me a little bit more about what you do as an outreach.
Well,
from the Schenectady out, even though you're New York. Yeah.
So we try to partner with organizations that are in those regions, because it's odd for us to just swoop in and say,
easy.
Here we are.
Yeah, it's easy to partner.
Yeah, so in Hudson, for example, we will be in 2023, I believe, partnering with the library and also with Hudson Hall to do some performances, maybe some presentations. We have begun to do some demonstrations of food preparation, so
yeah.
food waste project. So we hope to be working with that. We did a food waste demo in Cohoes this past Sunday, challah bread making for Hanukkah.
Yeah.
So that will be in Hudson. In Binghamton, actually, we partner with a national organization called Local Learning, and we have been doing some teacher training workshops with artists and teachers to try to infuse folk arts in the curriculum. And so,
Oh, that's a good idea.
yeah, so our woman who's working in Binghamton is working towards that goal. That will be doing this workshop in Binghamton in the summer. We'll also be doing a similar one in the Capital District, so I'm excited about that.
Yeah, that is. Now, do you do anything with the Native Americans?
We do, actually. I was just telling Beth, we are just starting a project with the Seneca Nation.
Okay.
And on Friday, I go to the Seneca Nation to have a meeting. We've been doing some planning meetings for the last probably 5 or 6 months, but this will be our first face-to-face. So we do have some targeted...
I mean, that has a foundation in our state.
It certainly does.
The Native Americans, they're very, I mean, they were here before us, let's face it. You know.
Yes, and it is a sovereign nation, so it'll be that'll be a project. I don't know where it will go, but we have begun a partnership with them, and
Yeah.
they're kind of in the driver's seat.
Yeah, it's important, I think, to reach out to groups that, no matter what groups they are, because if they were part of the foundation in our state, then that's part of it.
Yes,
Then, yeah.
and we've been working with artists for several years. This is the first time we're actually working with the nation.
Good for you.
So that.
Yeah, I know. I've
that'll be
seen the
fun.
baskets and things that you've had
Yes.
there as well. So Beth, when you do you're doing a Wreath workshop, and
Yes.
that's going to be on, was it 10th? I think I forgot the date.
It's on Saturday, and we're just doing something, it's also thinking about color and creativity and...
Yeah, the 10th
Yeah,
at 10 a.m.
Yeah. I think I'm very interested in someone new to the Folklore Society. I think the way that they are sharing and teaching and bringing creativity and art out of people's background and into other people's new
Right.
reality. And I think that when I look at that workshop and just doing things in general, I want to help people think about creativity and how wonderful it is to share creativity together. And quilting is certainly something that has always had that tradition.
Oh my goodness,
from
yes.
community.
Well, when it comes to quilting, it was like they used to have quilting bees, you know,
Yeah.
work together on it.
Yeah.
So the wreaths, okay, so you're going to supply all the fabrics.
Yes, we are.
Okay, and how, I mean, is it you just put stuff
Yeah,
together,
yeah,
or is
yeah.
it, or
We're
do you
just-
have
it's a
an
very-
idea of color, or, I mean, how
Well,
does that work?
I actually, you'll find the gamut of people on that question, and I'm not really a planner. And I start.
love people like that.
I'm not a planner. I start with and I hope at this workshop and other things I do that people will do what they like to do and choose what they like to choose. I think in some classes that I've taught, it fascinated me how even with children, when you ask children, when you throw a lot of color and fabric and get them to do something with it, some children and adults can't choose what they like together. So you'll say, oh, pick something you like, and they'll say, well, tell me what goes together, tell me what I should like. And so I'm really interested in that question. And
yeah, that's
yeah.
interesting that with kids, we kind of, make sure you're within the lines, and I mean, we kind of take away
Yeah.
the creativity with kids by telling them what they need to do.
Right.
But I was just
Yeah,
curious whether
yeah.
you had some idea of whether it was going to be all green or whether it was going to be.
I do a lot of work for churches as well. I make paraments and cloths and things for churches, and in that case, you're usually given a parameter of, if it's ordinary time or Lent or Advent, then there's a color. And so I usually start, and one thing I really enjoy doing with those projects is getting a congregation to give me fabric to use.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's usually a combination of things that I bring to the table and what they bring to the table as well.
Yeah, have you ever been involved with the Kids Art Festival?
Not here, I haven't, no.
You know
Yeah,
what? I think
yeah.
that would be really great. I'm kind of on that committee, so I'm going to keep you in mind, because it would be something, I think, that would be
Yeah.
an addition that we have never really done. We've done painting and
Yeah.
all the other things.
It's like working with fabric is they can't get hurt. A child can't get hurt. I mean,
Not unless they're using scissors, and I
Right,
don't think
right.
they're using scissors, so.
right, and it doesn't have to be. You can make things so that they're not high skill. Moving, putting things with glue where they like it, and
Yeah.
then an adult can come around behind them and sew it if you want to do that with it. I've with some classes, schools that done that, so that you gave children a few pieces, and in some cases I had an idea of what I thought they would make with those pieces, and each
If you
child
give them an
yeah.
idea,
Yeah,
just an
but they
idea.
didn't do it. They didn't
Yeah.
do what I thought they would do.
Yeah.
And it was wonderful. And then we sewed them all together for them.
How wonderful. That's so delightful. It's such a pleasure to meet you, Beth,
Thank
and to learn
you.
about what you're doing. And of course, Ellen, I know, is so excited about all kinds of things that we do at the New York Folklore. They're located at 129 J Street, which is in Schenectady. It's a pedestrian way, so you can actually, park and then walk there. And there's lots of things to do on J Street anymore,
There is.
with galleries and food and so many things, and
It's
a
a-
bookstore and you name it.
It's a busy place.
Yeah. And I know they have a lot of events there as well. I want to thank you both for being here. I think that it's been a delight to see you again and know that you're doing some great things. And of course, keep coming back when you have these new, and I'm going to be in touch with you, Beth,
Thank
about
you.
that.
Thank
That
you.
would be cool.
Thank you
For
very
the Kids
much.
Art Festival.